Assalamu alaikum. In this video we will see the different shapes of the Hamza and we will see the rules behind them. So as we notice here, the Hamza can be on Waw or on Ya or on Alif or even on the line. So how do we know which form is the right one to use? Let's first of all revise the harakat. We have Fatha, Damma, Kasra and sukoun. And as we see here, the Kasra is the only harakat that goes under the letter. All the three other harakat are above the letter. Now let's start when the Hamza is in the beginning of the word. When the Hamza is in the beginning of the word, we have only the case of the Hamza on Alif, like this. Now let's read them all with the harakat. A, U, E. The words in Arabic don't start with sukoun. Also, we have to mention here that if you notice it, in the last one, the Hamza is under the Alif. Why? This is because the Hamza follow with the haraka. As we said earlier, the Kasra is the only haraka under the Alif, right? And that's why here the Hamza follows that haraka and goes under the Alif, unlike with Damma or with Fatha. Now, what about these forms still? These forms will show up in the middle and in the end of the word. First of all, the middle of the word. But before that, we have to prepare something. Here, as we see here, the harakat has the strength. Did you know that? The strongest one is the Kasra, then Damma, then Fatha, and finally Sukoun. Also, before moving on, we have to revise one more thing. The friend of Fatha is Alif, the friend of Damma is Waw, the friend of Kasra is Ya. But when we applied the Hamza on it, we removed the two dots, like here and like this. Also, this second one we call it nabra. Now, let us see the case in the middle of the word. So, in the middle of the word we have a rule. We need to check the haraka of the Hamza and the haraka of the letter before it. The stronger one is the one we are going to apply. I put here all the harakat in the right order from up to down, from the strongest to the weakest, so that it helps us to understand these examples. Let's start with the first one. Bi'ron. The Hamza has sukoun, the Ba has kasra. Which one is stronger? Yes, the kasra is stronger, and that's why we applied the friend of kasra, that is nabra. And that's why here the Hamza is on nabra. Now the second example, Wi'amun, harmony. We have Kasra and Fatha. The Kasra is stronger, and that's why our Hamza is on the Nabra, because it follows the friend of Kasra. Here we have Mu'minun, a believer. We have Damma and Sukoun. Damma is stronger, and that's why the Hamza is on the letter Waw, because Waw is the friend of Damma. Now we have here Ra'sun. We have Fatha and Sukoun. So we put the Hamza on the Alif. The Alif is the friend of Fatha, which explains also this one. We have Da'aba, to work hard. Here we have Fatha and Fatha, so we applied the Hamza on the Alif. Finally we have Mas'ulun, responsible. We have Sukoun and Damma. Damma is stronger, so we put the Hamza on the Waw. So in general, when the Hamza is in the middle of the word, we don't really need to remember every single word, but we can remember the general rule. We apply the haraka that is stronger between the haraka of the Hamza and the haraka of the letter before the Hamza. We only need to remember three cases, which are when the Hamza has Fatha and the letter before it is Ya Sakina. In this case, we write the Alif on Nabra. We have here the example of Mashi'atun, willingness. In this case, let's see if this follows this rule. We have the Hamza with Fatha. That's right. And the letter before it is Ya Sakina. The letter before it is Ya indeed, and it's Sakina. Why? Because this Ya is not moving. Why? Because its role here is mad. It's making the letter She longer. When we say this letter alone, it will be She. With the Ya, it becomes She. So this Ya is just for mad and it's not moving. So it follows this rule, and we have here the Hamza on Nabra. We have other case here. When the Hamza is with Fatha, but it's preceded by Alif or Waw Sakina. In this case, we write the Hamza on the line. We have an example. Aba'atun, a cloak. Here, same the case like Ya Sakina. Here we have Alif Sakina because this Alif is making mad for the Ba. We have ba, 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 ba. And here we follow this rule and we make the Hamza on the line. For the Waw Sakina we have muru'atun, muru'atun, chivalry. Here the Waw also is playing the role of mad for the Ra. We have ru, 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 ru. And that's why we follow this rule and the Hamza is on the line. The final form is if the Hamza has Damma and there is Alif before it. In this case, we write the Hamza on the Waw, like hawa'uhu, hawa'uhu. Here we put the Hamza on the Waw. And here we have Alif before the Hamza. Now, let's move to the end of the word. When the Hamza is in the end of the word, it's so simple. The Hamza follows the haraka of the letter before it. We have here an example. Lu'lu'un, lu'lu'un, pearls. In here, the Hamza is on Waw. Why? Because the letter before it has Damma, and we know the friend of Damma is Waw. Here we have qari'un, qari'un, a reader. We put the Hamza on Ya because the letter before it has Kasra. Bada'a, bada'a, to start, started. This in here we have Fatha, and that's why the Hamza is on Alif. Now, what about the case if the letter before it has sukoun? If the letter before it has sukoun, we put the Hamza on the line, like ina'un, ina'un, a pot. The Alif is Sakina. Why? Because this Alif is used for med. We have na, na. Here hudu'un, same case, but we have Waw that is med for Dhamma. Hudu, hudu, hudu. Hudu on. So we put the Hamza on the line. Here also another example. We have shay'un, shay'un. As we see, the letter Ya has sukoun. Shay, a. That's sukoun. Now, what about the case if the Hamza has tanween with fatha? It means, for example, shay'an, shay'an, and not shay'un. We know a rule that when we have tanween with, we add alif in the end. So how do? We put the Hamza on nabra. Why? So that the Hamza connects the Alif and the Ya, like the example of shay'an, shay'an, and shay'un means a thing. Now, what about this case? Why it's on the line, not in Nabra? The only reason is because the letter Da is Arabic alphabet that can't connect to the letter after it. That's why. Now, that was all for the forms of Hamza. Now, let's practice. We will do the following. I will show some words with the Hamza on Alif in the general form, and then we need to say which is the correct form of that Hamza. Let's see the first example to understand better. We have here this word. We need to change this Alif in the right form according to the rules we have seen. I will read. This word means author. In Arabic, mu'allifun, mu'allifun. What is the right form in your opinion? It's on the Waw. Why? Because mu'allifun. The letter Ma has Damma and the Hamza has Fatha. Damma is strong as we saw, and that's why it is on the Waw. Let's see next word. This is fun, right? Yeah, I think it's fun. So we have here peers. Peers. It means in Arabic, ijasun, ijasun. What is the right form? This is it. Do you remember when we said when the Hamza has Kasra, the Hamza will be under the Alif? This is one example. Ijasun. Now, next word, mas'alatun. Mas'alatun. A matter or exercise. Mas'alatun. Pause the video and try to say what is the right form. The right form is Alif, Hamza on Alif, because we have here sukoun and fatha is stronger, so we apply the friend of fatha, that is Alif. Now we have the final word. There are two Alif in it. Let's see. Bu'bu'un, bu'bu'un, pupil, the one that is in the middle of the eye. So what do you think the form of the first and the second Alif? The answer is both of them on Waw. Why? Let's see. We have the first one, bu, bu, bu. Here we have Damma and we have sukoun and the Hamza is in the middle of the word. Which one is stronger? Yes, Damma is stronger, and that's why the Alif is on the Waw. And the final one we have bu'un, bu'un. What did we say about the Hamza in the end of the word? It follows the haraka before it. The haraka before it is Damma. That's why the Hamza is on the Waw. Bu'bu'un. That was all for this video. I hope you enjoyed and you learned it well. Now, don't forget to have fun while learning Arabic. Bye bye.